Good evening, everybody. It's Cutler here. Today is July the 13th, and I'm here on the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast. So Let's Talk to Cutler program, and I'm excited about our conversation this evening. I want to say thank you. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you so very much. I only ask that you would just go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell. It lets you know whenever I've gone live, whenever I've uploaded new content. Just in case you're perusing by my channel for the very first time, stop. Don't go anywhere else. Let me tell you a little bit about what this channel is. This is about offering inspiration and motivation and challenging us to show up a little bit better tomorrow than we did today. It doesn't mean that today was a wash. It doesn't mean that we did everything bad today. It doesn't mean that today was just a complete a flop of chaos of such. But it's about recognizing that each day we have an opportunity to get better. Each day we have an opportunity to improve. Each day we have an opportunity to grow. Each day we have an opportunity to go just a little higher. So for these 1,800 seconds that you spend with me, that is my goal. My goal is to make sure every second is significant, every moment is meaningful, and every minute must matter. So I'm not going to waste your time, but I want to ask you this question. Do you ever have any missed opportunities? Do you ever have any missed opportunities? And then how do you reflect on the missed opportunities that you have? We're going to talk about that as soon as I come right back. But in the meantime, as you're coming to the chat room, make sure that you share, this channel, and let somebody else know that Cutler is on the air. Go and tell them, come on, let's talk to Cutler. I'll be right back.
Let's talk to Cutler. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk to Cutler. Woo!
And I am back. And I want to say thank you all so much for joining me. Come on in the chat. I see that you're there. Come on in the chat so I can shout you out, because if you're one of the first three that hit the chat room, you know that you're one of my LTTC VIPs for the evening. I want to thank you all for joining me. I'm always humbled whenever I see you, because just as much as you all like to think that I'm sharing and giving to you, you all are giving it back to me. I feel the energy. I feel the love. I love seeing you all in the chat. I love hearing you and reading what you have to say. I want to tell you what we're doing every Tuesday and Thursday. I show up here for only 1,800 seconds. I try not to waste your time. But what I do for the past few months, we've been reading from this book right here, Billboards to Better, 366 daily sources of motivation and inspiration along the highway of life. My goal is to make sure that we're picking up passengers along the highway of life, that we're headed to a place that's called better, a place that's called more, a place that's called abundance, a place where I think it was Maslow who would call it self-actualization, when I realized I've become the best that I possibly can. And on our way there, we're reading these different billboards. We are applying them to our lives. And even if some don't apply, guess what? We still stay in the caravan. Because if they don't apply to me, they might apply to my brother, my sister. So I need it in my arsenal, if not for myself, for one of them. They might apply to me. If not today, they might apply tomorrow. So we just keep reading these billboards and we'll shout them out. And we are developing one of the largest caravans on the network. You all have to help me with that. Developing one of the largest caravans on the network, because we're all passengers. So I want to say thank you. I want to shout out the LTTC VIPs for tonight, and they are Cherie Griffin. Thank you so much for joining. My sister Raydella Lewis, always glad to see you. Mary Grace 5, you all know I love you. Thank you so much for always tuning in. And if I'm not mistaken, you all do me a favor. Help me to appreciate, I think it may be for the very first time, and so Natural Diva H, thank you so much for joining. I think this is your first time, so you all make Natural Diva H feel real good. You all know how we do it here. We're all fellow passengers, so make sure that you say hi, all right? And Molly, I forgot to say the other day, and I was trying to remember how to say, because you were sending the tight hugs from DR. Yes, I did understand what you were saying, so I wanted to say gracias, mon ami. That's French and Spanish. I wanted to say gracias, mi amigo. That's what I wanted to say. So thank you so much. Thank you all for joining. All right. I want to go ahead and get started, because on Tuesdays, we read the quote from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then on Thursday, we'll read the quote from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yes, there's a quote for Saturday, but you don't need it to join the conversation. But you might have your own conversation Saturday. You might have your own conversations. You might use it as part of your meditation, but just go ahead and use it. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. I want to read a quote, and then I want to, because this is my 7th book, by the way. If you want it, go on over to Amazon.com and get it. You don't need it for this conversation. I don't always necessarily push it, but it's great to have, because each day when you wake up, you get a chance to get a quote, and there's some additional quotes, and there's some bonus quotes in there for you. All right. So we're going to read the quote, and then I unfold it, and we'll talk about it, and we're just going to have fun. All right. We're going to have fun with it. But I'll tell you this. The quote for July 11th says this. It's near and dear to my heart, and I hope that you all can grab a hold to this nugget that I want to share this evening. It says, how you handle this moment, this very moment, could affect the rest of your life. How you handle this moment, this very moment, could affect the rest of your life. And I ask you, have you ever had any missed opportunities, and how do you reflect on those, and how do you handle those? Because when I wrote this, I realized that each moment is a moment that I have to seize. It is a moment that I need to lay hold to. It's a moment that I need to claim. And this is about being wise in the moment. It's about being wise now. It gives us an opportunity to see that every moment is a gift. Every second is a gift. And I just want to put this in your psyche somewhere to ask you, as you stand in each moment, ask yourself, am I going to be forward thinking, or am I going to be past dwelling? I think a lot of times we dwell on the past and we get stuck in the past because we've dwelt on the past so much. But I want to challenge us all to be more than just past dwellers, but to be forward thinking. Because when I'm forward thinking, I'm thinking about what I can do to become better. I'm thinking about what I can do to become greater. I'm thinking about what can I do to discover more about who I am. So I encourage us all not to be past dwellers, but to be forward thinking. Why? Because time is one of the greatest assets that you will ever have. It's one of the greatest gifts that you will ever have been given. I had the opportunity today to speak on a national platform to a group of people on a nationally sponsored platform. And one of the things that I said to them was, when it comes to time, promise me that you'll respect time, that you won't lose it, you won't waste it. You won't waste yours, you won't waste anybody else's, and you won't let anybody else waste your time. And that is the gift that I offer us tonight. I offer that to you all. The gift of resistance. Resist letting people waste your time. I think we got it pat, you all, when we say, I don't want to waste anybody else's time. But I want to give you the fortitude, the resistance of allowing people to waste your time. Your time is valuable. Your time is one of the greatest assets that you have. My day was filled with a whole lot of stuff. My day was filled with lots of emotions, because just as I got an opportunity to speak on a nationally sponsored platform, I also had the unfortunate opportunity to go to the funeral of a 24-year-old man. And I could only thank God while I was sitting in that funeral, y'all. I could only thank God for the years that he had given me. So this quote really does resonate with me tonight. How you handle this moment could affect the rest of your life. And as I sat in that service for that young man that I watched grow up from a young boy, I thought about all the mistakes that I made, but I had been forgiven. I thought about all the times I had fallen, but I'd been restored. I thought about all the times that I had given up, but somehow I had been renewed. And that could only be a function of time being on my side, time working for me. I'd like to think that was God rewarding me for not mishandling my time and for being a good steward over time. Time is the greatest asset that we would ever be given. I think it's Congressman Maxine Waters who coined this phrase and said it best. And I think it went all across the internet when she said, I'm reclaiming my time. Of course, once it's given and once it's used, you can't reclaim it. But I love the essence of what she said. I've offered you something that seems to be more valuable to me than it is to you. I've offered you something that I realized it was not mine to give. My time is not mine to give to you, but it's a gift that has been given to me. You know how sometimes people give you things, and I'm telling you all this. Hold on to your time. Don't let people waste your time. And when you seem to have offered something, when you seem to have offered people something that you think they're going to misuse, reclaim your time. I applaud Congresswoman Maxine Waters for saying that and for just pointing and spreading and dropping that seed in our lives. Reclaim your time, y'all. Don't let people waste your time. Don't let people waste your time. And wake up every morning. When you all wake up tomorrow morning, I want you to wake up in the realization that you have to be wise in every moment. Now, let me just be very transparent with you all, because you all, those of you who have been with me, you know I can only be transparent. Have I wasted time? Yes. Have I wasted my time? Yes. Have I wasted other people's time? Yes. Have I lost time? Absolutely. But I am so thankful that life has been kind and God has been gracious enough to me that I've learned the lesson of time management. And when I say time management, it means that I know what it's like to seize the moment. Have you ever heard people say you need to live your moment as if it's your last moment? I understand the sentiment of that. I totally get it. But may I offer you something else this evening? Don't just live every moment as if it is your last moment, but live it as if it is your most promising moment. Because if you live it as if it is your last moment, you might waste it. You might just throw it away. You might just give little consideration to it. But I want you to live every moment as if it is your most promising moment, because it just might be. Why do I say that? Because I shared the story. I shared the story with the young people today. I said, time is something that you use wisely. And I talked about this little boy who grew up in the country. He grew up on a dirt road in a town where the population was less than 550 people. And he didn't know at the time, but he had been taught to use time wisely. So there were days, especially during the summer, when this little boy who was growing up in the South, down in the South, in a town that was populated less than 550 people, there were some summer mornings when he would be out in the tobacco field at 6 o'clock in the morning. And there were some evenings during that summer morning when he would be down at the creek fishing with his family, not just because he wanted to, but just to catch fish for food. And he was taught the value of time. He was taught that you've got to get up early, you've got to stay up long, and you've got to work harder while you're there. Be a good steward over every moment that you've been given. I can say that out of conviction, you all, because that little boy was me. And I didn't know that the lessons that I was being taught at the time would come back to me so that I could offer them and share them with somebody else. It's about being aware. That is the word. It is about being consciously aware of the gift of time that we have been given. There's a scripture in Ecclesiastes that said, "So teach us to number our days." And we hear that at funerals. And I often say to you all that seems to be a celebration of life for the deceased. But no. You all, it is an admonition for the living. An admonition for the living to use our time wisely, spend our time wisely. Don't waste time. And if you have, let me just say this. If you have, don't beat yourself up. Because today is a new beginning. Because guess what? We are all in this car and we're riding along. Yes, I've wasted time. I've lost time. But guess what? I'm on my way to some place that's called better. And I got my passengers riding along with me. And they're going to point out the billboard. So every time it seems like I want to waste time, one of you all are going to point and say, Cutler, you can't do that. Because listen, you've got to handle this moment wisely. We are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. So I appreciate us all for being here tonight. All right. I want to go into the next quote. I want to go to the next quote, but I just can't help with the day that I've had to reflect on the value of time and to be thankful for the time that I've been given. Every morning I wake up, I count my blessings. And I thank God for the opportunity to participate in this thing that's called creation one more time. Just one more time, one more moment, one more chance, one more opportunity. I count my blessings because it's a wonderful thing to be able to participate in this thing that's called creation. I often say to people that God decided to wake me up because he loved me. And then just as quickly as I say that, I say, does that mean that the person who didn't wake up, he loved them any less? Absolutely not. That's not what it means. It means that he just gave me the opportunity to wake up. And so I share with you all, take the opportunity to wake up and realize the invaluable gift of time that you have been given. All right. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. You all know, listen, I'm only here for 1,800 seconds, and I'm so thankful for you all joining. Listen, and I see some of you are like, oh, speaking of time, Cutler, I almost missed you. I was cooking dinner and doing all these kinds of things, but whatever you were doing, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. All right, I'm going to go to the quote for July 12th. I need to get to this quote for July 12th. And it says this, you all, when you stay in faith, favor will show up. Look for it. And when it shows up, don't mistake it for anything else. Don't mistake it for anything else. All right? Don't mistake it for anything else. God's presence used to manifest as a cloud. You know, as you read the Old Testament, so I'm sure you all have read the scripture, or at least heard about it. But God's presence used to manifest as a cloud. But check this out. To some people, it could have been mistaken as a threat of a rainstorm. And they didn't realize it was God's presence. So what am I saying? You got to be open to favor no matter how it shows up. You've got to be open to favor no matter how it shows up. And expect favor, you all, because this quote says, when you stay in faith, favor will show up. Let me just talk about that for a moment. When you do right, you can expect a reward. When you do right, you can expect a reward. But you don't always get to define how the reward is going to look. You don't get to define how the reward is going to show up. You don't get to define how the reward is going to manifest. I believe in the concept of sowing and reaping. And I was talking to some of my friends and I was asking them, what is this machine? I think it's at Dave and Buster's and Chuck E. Cheese and all these places where you reach in and you try to pick up a prize. Life is kind of like that. All you know is that you get a prize, but you don't know which one you're going to get. Do right and you can expect a reward, but we don't get to tell God how to show up. You don't get to tell him how to show up. You don't get to tell him how to manifest. You don't tell him how to get to bring the blessing. Can I tell you all something funny? Here's all you need to do. For however he's going to show up, you just need to have on the right pair of glasses so you can see him. However your favor, however your blessing is going to show up, just have the right pair of glasses. Does anybody remember Fred Sanford? It was Sanford and Son. And Fred Sanford had this drawer full of all kinds of glasses. I tend to have reading glasses all over the place. He had all kinds of glasses, you all. And he would bang on the drawer 3 times and maybe elbow it once and then hit it once with his hip. And here comes the drawer open full of glasses. I'm telling y'all, keep your glasses on. Keep all kinds of glasses because your favor is coming all kinds of ways. Your blessings are coming all kinds of ways. Your miracles are coming all kinds of ways. Don't restrict how you want favor to show up. Don't limit how you want your blessings to manifest. Just put on your glasses because God is too large to be contained by one ideology. And if that is the case, what makes us think we can predict how he shows up? I gave up a long time ago on defining how I wanted my blessings to show up. And it is true. I adopted the song that says, God, any way you bless me, I'll be satisfied. I just need to know that it's coming from you. And when you do right, you can expect the reward. So you are going to be satisfied with favor, grace, and blessings. Just do right. Can't tell the Creator how to show up. Why? Because his thoughts are far beyond my thoughts. His ways are far beyond our ways. Who can even know God's mind? So here, y'all, y'all know I'm country. Here, y'all, on a practical level, stop trying to define, predict, and restrict how you want your blessings to show up. Because I will say this to you. When you stay in faith, favor will show up. And you have to understand this about the Creator. He is capable, fully able of doing exceedingly abundant above all that you could ever ask, think, or even imagine. And if that is the case, if he's capable of blessing you beyond all that you can ever think or imagine, you have to understand that when you think this, it can be exceeded. So be open to however favor shows up. Just know that when you do right, it's going to show up. Stay in faith, favor's got to show up. And don't try to define it, because when you limit it, you limit where you want to go. All right. I hope you all are enjoying this. And as a matter of fact, let me just share this with you. My mantra is not only any way you bless me. Can I tell you all this? Any way you bless me, anywhere you bless me, anyhow you bless me, anytime you bless me, and through anybody you bless me, I'm open to it. I'm open to favor however it comes, whether it comes from the north, south, east, or west, or from God's hand directly to me. I'm open to how favor shows up. So I want you all to speak this affirmation when you wake up in the morning. I'm giving you all these nuggets and these affirmations. I want you all to speak this affirmation when you wake up in the morning and just say, I'm open to favor however it comes. I'm open to be blessed however God chooses to bless me. Any way, anywhere, anyhow, anytime, and through anybody. Be open to it. All right. And when it comes, it is not arrogance to acknowledge that you've been blessed. And it is not conceited when you consider that favor has come in your life. All right. Feel free to acknowledge your blessing and keep right on going, because when you do that, I think that's your way of saying thank you. And I think I may have shared on this platform, every time you tell God thank you, he gives you another reason to say thank you. That is his way of saying you're welcome. All right, we're reading from this book, Billboards to Better, 366 Daily Sources of Motivation and Inspiration Along the Highway of Life. Yes, sometimes our quotes get a little very spiritually based, because that's just the kind of person that I am. I want us to be holistically well. I want us to be happy and wholesome and whole. And I want us to show up each day saying, I'm on my way to the space that's called better. And when I'm on my way there, I'm not getting there by myself. So that's why I want to thank you all so much for every time that you join me. It does my heart good. I'm encouraged just by seeing you all in the chat. I really, really am. I want to go to the quote for July 13th. Quote for July 13th says this: if you are not willing to help others find their destiny, your destiny may never find you. If you are not willing to help others find their destiny, then your destiny may never find you. I believe that what you do for others, God will allow others then to turn and do for you. And so I gave up on trying to live life individually without connectivity to anybody else. And I decided that I would be connected. And you all hear me when we go off this platform every Tuesday and Thursday. I said, let's maintain connectivity. Let's keep on building community. Because I realized some time ago that I couldn't live this life by myself, in isolation with myself. Because if I tried to live by myself in isolation with myself, every time I try to help myself, I would only be able to go as high as I could lift myself. So then I understood that I had a responsibility to humanity, that I had a responsibility to come out of self, and I had a responsibility to participate in this beautiful, wonderful thing that's called humanity. And I had to do it in a way that is humane, that's humanly human. And not only did I understand that I had a responsibility to humanity, you all, but I understood that I have an obligation to my brothers and my sisters. I have an obligation. I have an obligation to help when I can, to lend a helping hand where I can. I have an obligation to be a shoulder to cry on. I have an obligation to be an ear for people who need counsel. I have an obligation to help lift the weight of those who are weak when I can. I believe in letting the strong help bear the infirmities of the weak. I believe in all of that. I understand. I believe that I have an obligation to help my brother, my sister. We're talking about if you're not willing to help others find their destiny. What does it hurt you to help point somebody along the right path? Told y'all I'm country, and I'll say to you, that ain't cost you nothing to help point somebody on the right path. Not only do I have a responsibility to humanity, not only do I have an obligation to my brother, my sister, you all, but this is me. Can I just tell y'all what Cutler believes and what Cutler feels and how Cutler operates? And I want to share this with y'all. I also believe that I have some accountability for how I treat my neighbor. I do. I believe that I have some accountability for how I treat my neighbor. I don't believe that I can do wrong, throw rocks and hide my hands. I don't believe that I can pass by people without speaking, without offering a smile, without being courteous, without saying please, and without saying thank you. That's how I operate. Because one of the greatest creations on this, one of the greatest creatures on this thing that's called creation is man, woman, boy, and girl. And I have a responsibility to them. I have an obligation to them. And I have accountability to them. It's important to me how I treat people. It's important to me how I treat people. Because every time you meet somebody, you're pouring into their lives. No matter how brief your encounter, you're pouring into their lives. Either you're going to pour negativity or positivity. That's it. No matter how brief the encounter, you're going to pour into their lives. If you don't say a word, you're still pouring something because you're pouring your energy. You're pouring your attitude. And so what I've discovered is because I want people to pour positivity into me, I do my best. I do my best to pour positivity into them. And you all know I wrote this book. I also wrote this one some time ago. We don't always get it right the first time, but thank God for the opportunities to get it right over and over and over again. Thank God that I still have an opportunity to learn the lesson. Learn how to treat people right. Learn how to be civil. Learn how to be human. And yes, you all got it. I'm thrilled about the chats that I'm seeing. We are walking pictures. We are pouring into people. I said on the national platform, that national platform where I spoke today, when I spoke to those young people, I said, let me tell you all why I'm here. I'm here to pour into your life. And I thank God for the ability to pour into somebody's life because I'm only doing for somebody what somebody has done for me, you all. I didn't start this. I didn't invent this. I'm not the beginning or the originator of this, but I'm doing for others what somebody has done for me. I'm doing the things that I hope God will look down on me and smile and say, I'm proud of that. I'm pouring, I'm mentoring, I'm counseling, I'm advising, I'm guiding. I'm helping others. And in doing all of that, I want to tell you to do that. But can I also give you a word of caution? If you're not willing to help others find their destiny, your destiny may never find you. Help others where you can, but don't allow them to drain you to the point where you have no energy yourself. Right? I'm not telling anybody else to go above and beyond to the point that you sacrifice totally what you have and who you are. Help others, but don't drain yourself. Help others, but don't drain yourself. I'm telling you all, I try to do good when I can. I try to pour into people. I really believe in trying to pay it forward. I believe in trying to pay it forward. And it's easier for me to be a positive person than it is to be a negative person. It takes so much energy to be a negative person. Because what I believe about destiny, you all, what I believe about destiny is that when you align yourself on the path, destiny will call you. Do right, and destiny will call you. And for as many potholes as you may run into on the path of life, as many obstacles as you may encounter, destiny won't stop calling. Destiny will not stop calling. Auntie, my friend, it's good to see you. As long as you do right, destiny is going to keep calling. It doesn't mean that you won't have the hurdles and the obstacles and the potholes and the pitfalls, but destiny is still going to call. And so sometimes, let me tell you all this. So sometimes while you're helping people to get to their destiny, guess where you're headed? You're heading to yours. Destiny is ultimately the place where we're going. Purpose is what happens as long as we're on our way to destiny. If you want to understand purpose, purpose is what happens every day. Didn't cost us anything. Doesn't cost us anything to help people find their destiny. How many of us can attest to the fact that when we were not where we are now, there have been days when we were misguided, had no idea where we were going, had no idea of where we were going, but we were thankful that there was somebody who pointed us on the right road. That's why I thank you all for being passengers, because we're pointing each other on the right road. And sometimes we say to people, I'm not able to go with you. Can't walk I can't walk with you the whole time, but what I can do is point you in the right direction. Ever been stopped, ever been at a gas station, somebody walks up to you, drives up to you, say, hey, can you tell me how to get to so-and-so? You didn't go to so-and-so with them. Y'all know I got to go. But at least you were able to point them in the right direction. When you wake up tomorrow, be thankful for the people in your life who have pointed you in the right direction. You all, thank you so much for sharing these 1800 seconds with me. I guess it's been a day of emotion, a day of nostalgia, a day of reflection for me. Speaking with young people, going to the funeral of a young person. And then here we're talking about time, we're talking about destiny, and we're talking about faith, we're talking about favor. Be open to it however it comes, you all. Tomorrow, what is tomorrow's affirmation? Tomorrow's affirmation is this: I'm open to favor however it comes. I'm open to blessings, whatever they may be. You all listen. And so when I see you all Thursday, I hope that you all have blessings to talk about. I hope you have favor to talk about. I got to go. I've been here for a little more than 1800 seconds. Listen, let's do what we do. Let's keep on. Let's keep on building community, maintaining connectivity. Y'all keep your hopes up. Keep your heads up. There's still a pandemic going on. Stay safe. Please stay safe. And don't let anybody cause you to lose your mind. Stay sane. And I will see you all Thursday. Please know that from my heart to yours, Mishia Allen, I think this is your first time. If it is, my friend, thank you so much for joining the chat. I appreciate you. Listen, until Thursday, please know this, that from my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. I'll see you on Thursday. Goodbye.